guys, welcome back to my channel. Today me and Jodie are going to be doing a 24-hour readathon with both of our patrons, so I'm so excited for this day of reading together. I don't think you can tell by this lighting, I think I've done quite well, but it's super gloomy outside, raining, like chucking it down, but that is perfect reading weather in my opinion. So yeah, I'm so excited to get to my TBR, and yeah, let's just get straight in and I'll tell you guys what I'm planning on reading. So here is my stack of books. I've got, as you can probably see, quite a lot of manga here, but I do also have 3 full-length books. The first book that I would love to read is She and Her Cat by Makoto Shinkai. This is a book based on a manga, which is a really interesting way around. The only reason I really know about it, well, it's been very popular at work, but also Jodie recently read this and loved this. So when I was in Oxford during Vampathon, I picked this one up. So yeah, this book just seems to be a bunch of different cats and their owners, and probably, I'm guessing, how their lives interweave in this Tokyo suburb town. Love a Tokyo setting personally. It's one of my favorite places that I've ever been, so I'm so excited to read that through the lens of some cats. The next book I'd love to read today is Shadow Kiss by Rochelle Mead. I actually look like I'm naked. I am wearing clothes. Anyway, this is the 3rd book in the Vampire Academy series, and I read the 2nd one during Vampathon, and I told myself and everyone that I wouldn't let myself put this one off like I did the last one. I will say that this one's actually a bit thicker than the first 2, but I know I like Rochelle Mead's writing. I can read it very, very quickly. I feel like it's an easy read. So yeah, I thought why not put it on today's TBR. The next and last full-length novel that I will be consuming physically, hopefully, is In My Dreams I Hold the Knife by Ashley Winstead. The tagline is 6 friends, 1 college reunion, 1 unsolved murder. And this one's actually pretty short. I was kind of deciding between this one and If We Were Villains for this readathon and this month. But as this one's a bit shorter, I thought that it was probably a good way to go. Next up, I have the next 3 volumes of Demon Slayer. I've been collecting these over the last few months since I read the first one and since I started watching the anime series. So yeah, I definitely want to read at least volume 2, if not the other 2, depending on how much I'm enjoying it and how much time I have. If you didn't know, it's about a boy who loses his family to a demon attack while he's away. He comes upon the scene the next morning and he finds that his sister is the only one alive. However, she's been infected and becomes a demon, and this boy decides to simultaneously become a demon slayer so that he can avenge his family and also try and find a cure for his sister. So that's kind of the main gist of the series, and it is really fun, and I love the illustration style. Another manga that I actually really want to start is Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 1. I picked this one up a couple of months ago and I haven't read it yet, so I thought it'd be really fun to read this alongside my other manga during this readathon. This next book that I would love to read during this readathon is very reminiscent of Studio Ghibli. It's called Beyond the Clouds by Nikki. I picked it up over a year ago now and I started reading it back then, but I didn't quite get into it properly like I wanted to, and I feel like I've decided that I'm really in the mood for a cozy, cute manga. So yeah, if I'm not in the mood for like the fighting ones and the demon slayers, then I might pick this one up instead. And the last physical book on this TBR is The Liminal Zone by Junji Ito, which I won't go on about because I have talked about it a lot recently. This was on my Vampathon TBR and I didn't manage to get around to it, which I'm so devastated by, but I'm gonna make up for it by hopefully reading it during this readathon. If I don't, then I give you guys permission to shout at me because I've been wanting to read this for so long. The last book that I'm going to hopefully read during this readathon is an audiobook, and that is Legends and Lattes. I downloaded the audiobook the other night and I started listening to it, but honestly I fell asleep straight away, so I thought it would be better to listen to it during the day today while I'm cooking, while I'm cleaning, because I'm planning on deep cleaning my bathroom today. TMI, but that's the plan. And yeah, I thought it would be nice to listen to an audiobook while I'm doing those things so I don't miss out on reading time. And Legends and Lattes is described as a cozy, low-stakes fantasy. It's literally about, I think, goblins? Is it goblins? Or is it orcs? Goblins, orcs, something like that. Is it a troll? I'm gonna stop guessing because I'm embarrassing myself. But it's about one of those beings deciding that they want to give up all of the fighting and the adventuring and they want to open a cafe, which sounds so darn cute. I guess that's it for my 24-hour readathon TBR. It is about 15 minutes before we start now. We're starting the readathon at 2 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time and finishing tomorrow at the same time. But yeah, I'm gonna get set up now. I think I'm gonna grab a bite to eat before we begin and then let you guys know which book I'm gonna start with. Hi, so I just finished my first read at the readathon, which is Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 1. I don't know why, I just felt in the mood to pick this up. I just wanted to read the first volume of a new manga, I think. But yeah, this one was actually really good. It was so funny, like so witty. I laughed out loud so much during this read, and it is now 3:55, so it actually took me longer to read this than I thought. It's quite a dense manga. There is a lot of words per page. Like, there's just a lot going on. For example, I don't know if this is a lot, but it's more than I'm used to in like other manga that I've read before. So yeah, it was like really intricate and quite dense, but I'm not complaining. It was so good. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars out of 5. It left it on a cliffhanger, and I definitely want to continue reading in this series. I am definitely hooked and just loving the characters, very intrigued about where the plot's gonna go. But yeah, I actually have no idea what's gonna happen in the series because it could go in any direction. I am hoping that the characters at the beginning are gonna come back in the second volume or maybe later in the series, because I feel like that part was like really open-ended. But yeah, you guys will have no clue what I'm talking about unless you've read this. So yeah, I'm gonna stop going on about this now and pick my next book of the readathon. Hi everyone, so I did indeed choose She and Her Cat by Makoto Shinkai, and I think I made the right decision. At first, I wasn't really sure about the writing style, but now that I'm into it, I'm 20 pages in. I literally read this in the last sprint for 20 minutes. I don't even know if I mentioned, but I did a live show just now. I was live for like an hour and a half with my patrons, which was really cute. After finishing Jujutsu Kaisen, I went on to this one. I don't know what those marks are on the cover. It's like actually really annoying, but I think they might have been from inside my tote bag. I feel like you have to get a little bit into the story to actually get used to the writing style sometimes, especially with translated books. But yeah, this is actually really cute. So the first story, I think this is comprised of like a few short stories about different cats. The first cat has been put on the street, and he's basically like a little kitten, and this woman on her way home from work stumbles across the box with the cat in it and decides to take him home and names him Toby. I love him so much. He is so cute, and this book is already making me want to get a cat. And don't get me wrong, like I'm not a cat person, but I'm definitely more of a dog person, and this book is making me want to get a cat like tomorrow. Yeah, really enjoying this so far. I feel like it's going to be such a relaxing, like wholesome read. I think now I'm actually going to pop out and go to the shop because I need to get some ingredients for banoffee pie and also potentially some more snacks for the readathon, because I always treat myself during these readathons. Obviously I can't read my physical book on the go, but I think I'm going to grab my earphones and listen to Legends and Lattes while I'm on my way. It is literally starting to get dark now and there are clouds looming above. So yeah, wish me luck. I'm gonna take my Crescent City umbrella out, my Illumicrate umbrella, because I lost my ordinary black one. And then I will update you with how much I listen to Legends and Lattes once I am home. So that was fun. I was literally caught out in the rain, but now I'm gonna make some nachos and then later I'm gonna make the banoffee pie that I was talking about. So yeah, it was worth it. this background, this kitchen, this mess. Anyway, hi guys, so I am updating you guys extremely late. It is now I think past 10 o'clock, and on the table I've got my laptop because me and Jodie are currently live and reading together, but as always we chat a lot on those streams, so I haven't actually done much reading. But miraculously I am now only 30 pages away from finishing She and Her Cat, which guys I've been enjoying so much. Like, I feel like I was about to say every story gets better, but definitely the second story was my favorite. The third story was also super cute, but I think the first story was a great starting place. I get why we start with Chobi, but like, he's definitely not my favorite cat character. I'd say my favorite is Mimi, who is the second cat. Love her. And then the third cat is Cookie. Love her as well. But yeah, Mimi honestly has a special place in my heart, and if you see me getting a cat and calling her Mimi, then you know why. But yes, I am still loving this. I'm on the fourth and final story, the short story, and this one is called The Temperature of the World. I didn't actually tell you guys, but like, each section has its own title and it relates to the story. So yeah, I don't really know what the temperature of the world is gonna mean just yet, but it is really clever writing, like the way everything ties in. And actually I just realized when I was reading the third story, I think because I flipped to the last page, and the guy who wrote this book is actually the creator of Your Name, which is this incredible anime movie. If you haven't heard of it, it's like one of the best, one of the most popular anime films. I personally love it. I think my best friend Amy introduced me to it, and it is just such an incredible story. Like, if you've watched it then you'll know what I'm talking about, but it's just the most incredible, intricate story, and it's kind of like everything kind of connects at the end. And Jodie has told me that this one is similar in that way, that at the end you're kind of like overcome with emotion and it all ties together. So yeah, I literally can't wait. I'm having such a lovely time reading this book, and I actually couldn't recommend it enough. I haven't finished it, but I feel like it is a 5-star book. Like, it is so gorgeous. And yeah, I was just talking to Jodie about it, and we both agree that it's so brilliant in discussing human emotions and what people just go through on a daily basis, and just like everybody's struggles and the connections they make, the relationships they make, and stuff like mental health as well is brought up a lot in this. It's the sort of book that just makes you like stop and appreciate the little things in life, and I love a book like that. I think a book that I read recently that did that in a completely different way was My Pen is the Wing of a Bird by Afghan Women, and that was also a short story collection. I love these slow stories that are kind of very relaxed and just focus on the very small things, like ordinary things in a person's day. Yeah, if you like the sound of that, then definitely pick this up. I feel like although it is definitely for cat lovers, like if you're a cat person then you're gonna like die when you read this of happiness. I'm pretty much a dog lover mainly, and this is making me want to get a cat, like I said earlier. So yeah, you might see me with a cat very soon. But anyway, I'm making a coffee now so that I can finish this book and just get some energy so that I can just read the last 30 pages and like get it done so I can move on to my next read. So I'm gonna make a cinnamon hazelnut latte, my own creation, and hopefully finish this, and then I'll report back. It is the next day. It's actually an hour before the readathon ends, so I thought I should swoop in here and actually give you guys an update because I haven't picked up my phone all day to talk to you guys. But yeah, this morning I've had the most chill, just relaxing reading morning. So I did go to sleep really late last night. I actually gave Legends and Lattes one more try, but I actually really can't get into it. I don't know what it is. I think, to be honest with you, like my overriding thought when listening to that audiobook is boredom. Like, I am just not interested. There's nothing that's really made me like intrigued about the main character whatsoever. Like, I just don't, I can't pick up any hint of like personality. I don't know what it is. It's just the book is so bland. The thing is, this book's super hyped up and I could enjoy it, and I was saying on the reading sprints, it's not because I'm listening to it, it's not because of the format that I'm reading this book in, it's not the audiobook. I listen to so many audiobooks and end up loving them, but something about this one, I'm just finding it really hard to like care and get invested in the storyline. I don't know if it's because of the whole premise of the book being like very low stakes and like cozy fantasy, and the fact that pretty much like the only major plot is the main character Viv creating this cafe, building this cafe, like coming up with a machine, kind of trying to explain what coffee is to people that don't know what it is. Anyway, so yeah, I think I'm gonna have to DNF that one. I don't know if that will be like a pause for now and try it again when I'm in a different reading mood, or whether that's just gonna be a DNF and never attempt it again. We'll see. I'll let you guys know if I do ever eventually pick it up or not. But yeah, I'm actually really disappointed because I desperately wanted a shorter cozy read this readathon, but at least interesting and something that's gonna like keep me reading. And honestly, Legends and Lattes was not that for me. And actually, I haven't even talked to you guys since I finished She and Her Cat, so I'll put a picture on screen because I actually left the book downstairs, but I gave it 5 stars. I don't feel like that's a surprise to any of you, although the last story was not my favorite by any means. Like, I think my favorite still is Mimi. I think the 4th and final story did tie everything up so beautifully, and then there was a little epilogue at the end to kind of share like the lessons that each character had kind of learned and like their appreciation for life and their cats. It was just so cute and wholesome. Like, there were, of course, like I mentioned, some darker topics. It was very sad. There were some really emotional parts, especially in the last story, but there were also some really joyous moments as well. Genuinely, I feel like so many people would love this book. I feel like it's a really, really good gift for Christmas because it is so beautiful as well. Like, it's a beautiful little hardcover. But yeah, I guess that's all I'm going to say about that. 5 stars, would definitely recommend, and I feel like it's one of my top books of the year now. But yeah, this morning I woke up, I wouldn't say bright and early, but definitely early enough, and I actually read The Liminal Zone by Junji Ito, so you guys don't have to shout at me. I've finally read this. I pretty much read this in one sitting in bed with a cup of tea, and I did really enjoy it, although this is probably the Junji Ito that has disturbed me the most in terms of themes. I was kind of anticipating that just because there is a very religious story called Madonna in here. There is also a whole story dedicated to the Japanese suicide forest near Mount Fuji that is incredibly harrowing. I watched a whole documentary on it a few years ago. What was interesting about what Junji Ito did with that story actually was that he did put a YouTuber in the forest with a camera. I think this was a story that he wrote in 2021, but apparently these stories, according to the little author's note at the end, were just a bunch of discarded ideas from like his earlier career that he basically just happened to find in notebooks and create some longer short stories out of. So this as a collection I actually gave 3 stars, and I'm not saying that it's bad, but I kind of agree with what Junji Ito said in the author's note. He was kind of slating himself in his author's note, and I know that like Junji Ito doesn't boast about his work. Like, every single time I've seen him talk about his manga, he is definitely very, very humble and very much of an opinion that he could improve, or certain things weren't his best work and like why and how he could make it better. But yeah, he was very, very slating of all of the stories in his author's note in this one. And to be honest with you, some of the things that he said I actually agreed with. So yes, I have given this 3 stars, and I've also bumped down Censor to 3 stars as well, which is sitting at the bottom of that pile there. Frankenstein, sitting on top of it, was a 5 star, and I feel like reading this and reading Censor, I feel like I preferred this to Censor, so I maybe would give this like a 3.5 star. But yeah, I just didn't like them anywhere near as much as I loved Frankenstein. I think Junji Ito is still an incredible mind and an incredible artist. I just didn't personally like love the stories in this one. I think that's what it was. It wasn't that I didn't like the art or even like where he went with them, because I actually did find it very, very morbidly interesting, but I just think the stories themselves and the themes weren't necessarily for me. I'm still so glad that I read this though. I did have a very good time, and it's also, I feel, made me so much more likely to pick up Tomi again. Tomi I've read like half of, and I kind of paused it there, and this was a while ago now and I just haven't picked it up since. But I feel like now I've read The Liminal Zone, it's really got me back in the mindset for Junji Ito and got me excited for Junji Ito again, and to like read one that is more widely loved like Tomi. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick up Tomi again soon, and hopefully also once I finish that, go on to my next Junji Ito, which I only said that I will buy my next Junji Ito once I've finished all the ones I've owned. So I would love for you guys to tell me in the comments which one I should read next. I know that Uzumaki is probably the most popular, the most highly suggested. But yeah, if you disagree and you think I should pick up something else, like one of his shorter collections, then let me know in the comments, because I'd love to know your opinion, and I might just go with the one that gets mentioned most. Later this morning I did pick up Shadow Kiss by Rochelle Mead, so I'm actually 52 pages into this one and really enjoying it. I am so surprised. I thought that I would absolutely adore Frostbite because of like the winter setting, and I do often love a second book in a series as well. But honestly, Frostbite was like a tad bit disappointing, whereas this one's gone straight in with the intrigue and the drama. Like, I'm loving this. Basically, this third one, without spoiling too much, I think Rose and Alyssa are in their final year, and it's coming up basically to like the end of year exams for the Dampiers, and part of that is that she has to like kind of play at being guardian for one of the Moroi students in her class. And yeah, I'm not gonna like say anything, but like it took a twist, and I'm actually really enjoying it, and like what Rochelle Mead has decided to do with this book. And this is kind of what I was craving from the last book, and we did get it a little bit, like don't get me wrong, but I really hope that it amps up in this one and we get more tension and like all of that good stuff. Basically, for the last like hour, or probably less now that I've been talking for so long, of this readathon, I am just going to read a little bit more of this. Obviously there's no way I can finish this, it's over 400 pages, but yeah, I'm just going to enjoy getting stuck into this one and then basically hopefully read it over the next like week or so. There is another video that I've got coming up that I might include this in, so you guys will get to see all of my reactions in that one as well. But yeah, for now I'm going to go downstairs with my book and make myself marmalade toast and I will probably check back in with you guys with my final thoughts and my book's read stack once the readathon is over. Hello, so the readathon is officially over now, and I did read for the past like 45 minutes, like half an hour to 45 minutes, and I'm now on page 86 of Shadow Kiss, which is chapter 7. Just like before, I'm enjoying this so much. I feel like we're really getting into it at this point, and yeah, I'm about a fifth of the way into the book pretty much. So yeah, I actually really can't wait to keep reading this. I might read more of it today, but I thought I would wrap up this vlog as the readathon is now officially over, and of course I'll keep you guys updated either in another vlog or in my next wrap up. But yeah, these are the books that I ended up reading this readathon. It's obviously not as many as I set out to read, but I am very happy with my reading, and I did really enjoy every single thing that I read. So the first thing that I read was of course Jujutsu Kaisen volume 1, which I gave 4 stars, and I'm definitely going to continue on in this series. I just want to know what happens. I'm going to start watching the anime alongside it as well, because I thought that was actually a really good adaptation. So yeah, so excited to start a new manga series. The next book that I read and finished was She and Her Cat by Makoto Shinkai. Love this, probably my favorite book of this reading day. I gave this 5 stars and I absolutely adore this, and it's definitely now a new favorite book. This is probably the book that I would recommend from this video if you want to read any of these books. I feel like this is the one that I'll be telling people to read from now on. Then of course this morning I read The Liminal Zone by Junji Ito and gave it 3 stars. I do not regret reading this whatsoever. I did really enjoy it, and it has gotten me now in the mood to carry on reading more Junji Ito in the future. And then obviously I've made some good progress with Shadow Kiss by Rochelle Mead. Obviously I'm only still in the early stages of this book, but if it carries on in this way, then I will probably most definitely give it 4 stars like I have with the other 2 books in the series. So yeah, I'm super happy with my reading. If you join me, thank you so much. I hope that you had a good time as well. I'll leave Jodie's socials down below. I believe that she's including her 24-hour readathon within a vlog, so if she's uploaded that by the time you're seeing this, then I will link that below as well so you guys can go watch it. But yeah, I think that's it for this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching me read and hearing all my thoughts, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!